Hey, what's up guys? Jeremy's here once again. I hope you're doing well. I'm down with a little bit of cough, but as I promised, I am here to tell you how I raised £16,000 after 6 weeks of owning the RedKomodo 6K. It's very, very simple. I'm not going to be wasting much of your time, but all I want to say is, as with my previous video, reaching out to the customers is very, very essential as a filmmaker. You rather reach out to them than stay home and wait for them to find you. If you haven't seen that video, the link is right up here where I talk about how to reach out to potential customers. And in this occasion as well, I was just very, very fortunate. During that 6 weeks of owning the Red camera, I had 8 projects, as I'd mentioned before. And out of those 8, I was able to raise that amount. And out of those 8 projects, 4 of them were actually, or 5 of them were actually me reaching out to those customers. During that time, I did lose 1 or 2 customers, but being able to constantly send emails to potential clients and potential customers is always a backlog of jobs that potentially can come your way. So before getting into it, let me just quickly explain how I came about in owning the RedKomodo 6K. So prior to purchasing the RedKomodo 6K, I owned the Canon 1DX Mark III, and I had to sell it to be able to purchase the Komodo 6K, because the Komodo is £6,000, the brain on its own. And as much as it's ready to use camera, there is still a few bits and pieces that you need to gather to be able to record on, to be able to monitor properly. So when I heard that the camera is available for pre-order, straight away went onto CVP website and I checked on there, and that pre-order button was not live yet. So as I sat there just between 11 and 12 midnight, that pre-order button became live, and right there and then I hit the pre-order and put in my order. Having said that, during this time I had just sold my Canon 1DX Mark III, lost out about £1,000 because I knew what I really wanted out of the following camera that I was putting my money into. Bear in mind that I had only owned the 1DX Mark III just under 4 weeks. And so losing the £1,000 out of that, it is a big case, but because I knew what I really wanted, I didn't mind at all. So I placed the order for the RedKomodo 6K, and during the time that I placed the order, it was the middle of the night, as I said. And so I had to call CVP in the following morning to confirm that my order was placed. And so I did. When I did, I was then told that I was not the first person to place the order. There are several people before me. Having said that, I am not one of those who are backed up in the list. So I should receive my camera within the next 2 weeks. That's what I was told. So during that 2 weeks wait, that's when I lost 1 potential customer. That was just during about 2 grand lost in production. It was hard to swallow, but it was a mistake that I made, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us make these mistakes. Now, it was a mistake that I was willing to live with because I was excited and I was looking forward to that RedKomodo 6K. And so I had called up CVP asking them to chase it up for me. I was then told, like 3-4 days later, after placing the order, I was told that the cameras has hit the UK customs and waiting to be released by the end of the week. And this was just during the week. So I was looking forward to a phone call on Friday that the camera was there. I was so super excited, and I was ready to actually drive out to CVP and collect the camera myself. Besides the excitement, I had other projects that was actually waiting for me to give the thumbs up to be able to start the production. So everything was already pre-planned and locations, everything is sorted already. We're just waiting for the RedKomodo 6K. So waiting till Friday, I didn't hear anything from them. Just before closing time, I called in to find out what's going on. I was expecting a call, and I was told that the cameras has not been released yet from customs. So hopefully by Monday latest, it should be in their warehouse and I should get it by Tuesday. So again, I waited Monday afternoon towards the evening. I called in to find out what was going on. Then I was told that the delivery has actually arrived their warehouse, but my name is not in that list. Because there were a few people who purchased before or placed their order before me. And I know how that works. It's not that there were people who purchased before me. Yes, I understand that sometimes I'm not the only person sitting there waiting to do the pre-order, and there are other people doing the same thing at the same time as well. What I got to find out was that either CVP or Red actually prioritized those who are waiting for the gear to use for the next production. And so I explained to them my predicament, where I find myself. I had already lost one customer and I had no cameras. I didn't want to go out and rent because I couldn't find a Komodo during that time for rental. So I was so looking forward and waiting, including the customer waiting for that camera to show up. So nevertheless, eventually after 2 weeks, I received a phone call that the camera has arrived. Up to the 4 weeks of wait, I had then lost two customers, which mounted up just there and about to £4,000. So I wasn't very happy with one CVP. I wasn't happy with Red because they made a promise and they failed. However, that is the industry we live in. You know, things happen and it's out of everyone's control. But I took it as it was. Meanwhile, I had already sent out emails to potential customers that this is what I do and this is what I can bring to the table for your business. And so the day that I was called and was told that the camera had arrived, as soon as I hung up the phone, before then actually, they had told me that they were gonna confirm my address and then post the camera to me, so it should be with me the following day. But I said, no, I'm gonna come straight to the office. As I said before, I'm gonna come straight to the office and collect it myself. I don't want any delays because I've already lost two customers. I've already waited for a little bit, over 4 weeks, and I didn't want to sit back and then I would be told again that, oh, you missed the delivery or something, anything. I didn't want any more disappointment. So I drove down and collected the camera myself. Anyway, back to the main story. So I had then already sent out emails to potential customers, and then when I spoke to CVP and they confirmed that the camera was there and I was just about to go pick it up, as soon as I hung up the phone, I received an email from a company I cannot mention. I was actually blown away and I started shivering and shaking because it was unexpected email. This was an email that I sent again to a potential customer. This time around, it wasn't a small company, it wasn't a small business, it was a bigger company. So I sent an email to them explaining who I am with my show reel at the bottom and a few links of some of my best stuff that I've done that's actually on YouTube. And I told them what I can do for their business and how I can help brand their business. And so that email came back to me and asking me to give them a call because they are interested. So on my way going to pick up the RedKomodo 6K, I gave them a call. I didn't hesitate. I didn't want to wait until I get home where it's nice and quiet to call, because we know business, you're supposed to be somewhere quiet. You can't be doing business like that on the road. You hear car horns and the road noise and stuff like that. No, I just gave them a call as soon as I got in the car on my way to pick up the RedKomodo. Cutting a long story short, they told me they are interested. And what then I asked them, this is very important and I want you to take a note of this. What I asked them was, what is your budget? Now, the reason why you always want to ask your customer or a client what is your budget is because you will be surprised that they actually, depending on the company, depending on the customer, and depending on how much they have, they might have a bigger budget than what you was actually looking to charge. So I asked them, what is your budget? And then they told me it's £14,000 for a 3 minutes video. So when they said that, I quickly hung up the phone and I was thinking to myself, did I hear it right? And I called him again. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, the phone cut off. Can I speak to Mr. So-and-so? And then he confirmed that it was £14,000. And believe it or not, at the back of my mind, I had £300-400 max. That's the charge that I was actually going to charge them for that 3 minutes video. And as I said previously with my other video, you try and move your prices as low as possible, regardless who it is, regardless what company or the client is. Bring your prices as low as possible and they will be willing to actually pay for that, because it is an unexpected approach for such a thing. So I asked them with the budget. It was confirmed £14,000, and we spoke over the phone. They sent me a few emails back and forth. When I got home, I went through it. Everything seemed clear. I signed it and sent it off to them. So the moral of this long story is, reach out to the potential customers. Reach out to the people in your vicinity, you know, the small companies, the small businesses in your vicinity. Reach out to them and let them know what you are capable of doing. Send emails if you have to, and you will 100% receive a reply from one or the other. I mean, if you sent, I think at that time I had sent like probably a little bit over 20 emails or so during the time that I was waiting for the RedKomodo to come. I always do this to get jobs. I always do this to get jobs. So I sent out these emails, and I think 3 out of them came back, and this particular one paid 14,000. So adding up the little bits of music videos here and there and some of the small YouTube projects that I did, I made a whopping £16,000, and that is just under 6 weeks of owning the RedKomodo 6K. So clearly I paid off my Komodo already and I made some. So this is a small advice. I can't stress and emphasize it enough. Reach out to these customers, and trust me, one or the other, you will get a response. And instead of having the camera sitting on the shelf and covered in dust and not being able to get jobs or getting petite jobs here and there and stuff, reach out to the customers and you will be surprised. So that's it for me, guys. I hope this video served you well and you would benefit from it. Please go ahead and subscribe if you aren't a subscriber for more insightful videos. And if you are a subscriber, do go ahead and hit the thumbs up if this video served you well, and comment below as well. So stay tuned and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.